Thank you. So now we'll go to section 2, which we will look at the implication of AI for the workforce, and I will also share with you some successful cases of AI adoption in developing countries. And then finally, we will look at the international perspective on how we can promote global AI governance. So first of all, this graph on the left-hand side is about the potential exposure of AI that in different type of economies by income level. And as you can see, for the higher income level advanced economies, they are very likely to be affected by AI automation. About 1/3 of the employment are expected to be affected by AI automation. But at the same time, they have also a higher potential for AI augmentation. That is to use AI to complement what they have been doing. And the reason behind this is because AI can affect not only routine and lower skill jobs, but it now can extend to cognitive tasks. So even with the legal, medical, or those rather higher skill tasks, AI can work on this. And that's why you can see for advanced economy, they will be affected both by this AI automation and augmentation. But for lower income economies, the effect will be much smaller in both these two different exposure. And it may allow some time for developing countries to see how developed countries adapt to this new AI workflow or business process and adjust accordingly. So this is what we can see from the left-hand side of the figure. And what is more interesting, I think, is on the right-hand side, in terms of generative AI exposure. You can see that compared to the potential exposure to automation, the augmentation potential is much more bigger. For example, in lower income countries, the exposure to augmentation would be about 11%, but almost 0% in terms of automation. And this is because of the latest development of AI, that with generative AI, it can create new contents like video, text, and etc. And then it can really help workers to complement and do things in a much quicker way. So this is how we see the main distinction between the latest development from Gen AI and the traditional understanding of AI. And in this table, I will elaborate a little bit more what I mean by the augmentation power of Gen AI. As you can see from this table, we have a case study in terms of call center workers, consultant in leading consulting firm, some working professional on writing tasks, and also on the programming tasks. And with ChatGPT and some other generative AI tools, it can enhance the productivity by a significant amount. And this is the impact that we are seeing from this micro-level studies. But what I should emphasize here are the fact that many of these studies focus on developed countries, because they are the one really adapting AI more quickly than the others, and we still need to see in terms of developing country, would the same effect be there, or would the dynamics a little bit different, that we need more data to look at this. But for sure, as we may see in many developing countries, they have very strong customer support or call center work, and many of the jobs are being change because of the support of Gen AI, for example, with the use of chatbots. So this is some big changes we are now seeing how this Gen AI affect the dynamics and the work process. And to summarize, there are 4 channels that AI could affect productivity and workforce. What I mentioned are the first 2 bullet on top. On the left-hand side is substituting human labor. That is the traditional automation thinking. And on the right top corner, that is complementing human labor. That is the augmentation power that I just described. But at the bottom part, there are 2 more channels. One is about improving the existing automation process to make it more efficient. That is how AI can work on that front. And the last one is creating new jobs. But here, I should highlight the fact that, as Antonio mentioned, the new jobs could be with high, skill required, or upskilling kind of good jobs that really enable the workers to improve their productivity. But what we can see in many developing countries, especially in Africa, many workers are working at the lower end new tasks that created by AI. For example, they may be trapped in labeling data, which is rather routine, or maybe they would be responsible for censoring some information online. So those are the new jobs created by AI, but those may not be the ideal jobs that we would want to see high-skilled workers or developing countries going into that direction. So what we have in terms of the recommendation is that we should focus on the right two points. One is on augmenting the human labor, and the second one is on making sure those new jobs created are meaningful, that engage our workers in a good way. And three different recommendations in details that we should focus on. The first one is, of course, to empower the workforce. So they have the basic literacy on digital and AI. And the second one is on upskilling those who may not be familiar with AI, so they can really leverage these tools to help their tasks. And the third point on empowering the workforce is on reskilling. So some of the people in, for example, the customer support may be replaced by chatbots, but then we need to think of about ways to help them to reskill so they can still maintain relevant in terms of the job that they have been performing. So basic digital literacy, reskilling, and upskilling are three major directions of how we may empower the workforce. And secondly, in terms of the engagement of workers in the design and implementation of AI, that is also important, because nowadays what we may see in the company is that the senior management may just design and then they ask the staff to use that AI tools, and that may not be really aligned with what they have been doing. So engaging workers to create AI tools that can really work for them is an important perspective. And this is also what we call the worker-centric approach to AI adoption. And the last point is about fostering the development of human-centric AI solution. So we are not taking the previous experience of technology progress that really favor the automation part, but focusing on the complementing part and creating meaningful new jobs. And with that, government can take different policy instruments, for example, having public procurement, also by improving R&D funding targeting to specific AI use, and also with some tax or subsidy that can guide this AI development toward human-centric approach. So this is on the workforce and productivity side that we have looked into the literatures and also some recommendation on this part. And in chapter 2 of the report, we also have some interesting case study on how AI was adopted in different developing countries. Here are two examples, but there are more that I encourage you to have a closer look in terms of agriculture, manufacturing, and also healthcare, how AI can really be employed. One example on the left is an application that can help farmers to detect whether their agricultures, for example, banana plant in this case, whether they have infection, and also by taking just a photo of the banana plant, the AI tools can guide the farmers on how to cultivate that banana plant in a good way. And one interesting feature of this app is the fact that it can go offline. So even some countries may not have good internet connection, this application also works. And on the right-hand side, we have one application in healthcare that is actually using the sound recording to identify whether the baby has some breathing problems. So by recording the cry from a baby, this application can tell the medical professional whether they have a breathing problem. And now this application has further developed into kind of Google Translate for baby. So by analyzing the different sound or pattern of cry, the apps can actually tell you whether the baby is hungry or it requires some other demands. So this is evolving application in terms of this application. And there are many more, and I would really love to encourage you to have a closer look. But what we can summarize from all this successful adoption of AI are the fact that they around this infrastructure and data skill framework that we mentioned. The first one on infrastructure, exactly the example I mentioned on the application to detect the banana plant is that some AI solution work around with the local available digital infrastructure and have some offline model or different arrangement that can support the use of AI even with this infrastructure constraint. And the second point is that with AI, it can help analyze data that were maybe traditional, not possible to be utilized. And that open some new sources of data analysis possibility. And the third one is on the skill barrier. Many of these AI solutions are actually designed with very simple and easy to use interface. So even rural area farmers or maybe some rather lower skill medical profession, they can still use this AI tools with ease, so they can use this AI tools for their work very easily. And apart from this infrastructure, data, and skill framework, the final point is to build partnership, because that is the way to have this pilot program scale up to a wider access. And that would require partnership with local government, some existing business partner, or the industry and academic. And in fact, in many of this case study, this is where they can really scale up from very local use to regional or even international use. So this is the kind of impact that we really want to scale up. And this last part led me to the global collaboration that we are going to discuss in chapter 5 of the report. But before that, I would like to echo what Antonio has mentioned to remind every one of us the fact that we have significant AI divide nowadays. This on the left-hand side, this shows the AI hardware market concentration situation. The fact that NVIDIA and US company is having a 90% market share of GPU, which is a critical element for computing AI for training and also application. And the fact of that most of this advanced semiconductor is produced by another company in Taiwan called TSMC. So we can see really significant market concentration in AI hardware. But on the right-hand side, we can also see in terms of AI software that the fact 2/3 of this global cloud market is dominated by Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. And with this background, I think it is quite obvious that we cannot just let the private market to drive the AI to whatever direction they want, because from previous experience, usually this technological progress will shift more toward automation that favor capital owners. And with this, this highlight really the importance of government's action and government role. And if we look at the international AI governance situation, the situation may not be very promising, even though we have a lot of discussion on this AI governance. This is a figure that's for the major international initiative, 7 of them of recent years. actually 118 countries, mainly from the global south, not really participate in any of this. And all this are driven by the G7 members. So apart from the concentration of this market in the private sector, in terms of the international government level, we can also see this gap between developing country and developed country in driving where AI should lead us. And in regard to this, there are quite a lot of efforts that the UN have been doing to promote global AI governance, and we can trace it back to 1993 or early 2000 with different major multi-stakeholder platform. And I think most of you are well aware of this Commission on Science and Technology for Development. That is one of the key platforms that we discuss how science and technology can promote inclusive and sustainable development. But there are also some other avenues like the STI Forum and AI for Good Summit. So those are the multi-stakeholder platform that the UN has been doing a lot in engaging different stakeholders. And in 2021, the UNESCO have this recommendation on the ethics of AI, and I think this is the first international standard on AI that set the ground for many of the latest development. And then last year, we had two global resolutions on AI, one on steering AI towards global good, and the other one is on enhancing international collaboration. And for the latest development in the Pact for the Futures and the Global Digital Compact therein, there are three major recommendations. One is to set up a scientific panel on AI to provide evidence-based policy formulation process and deliberation. And the second one is a global dialogue on AI governance to share practice and to learn from each other. And the third one is on data governance that the CSTD is working on, this working group to talk about the major principles and things that we should consider to have an inclusive data governance framework. And with building on all this development, what we want to recommend in this report for global AI collaboration are four. I will go through it one by one. The first one is on accountability, because nowadays we have many different AI principles, like on responsible AI, transparency, explainability, but how to really make this principle into practice and make sure that they deliver tangible outcome is to enforce all this thing in an accountability framework. And this process can make reference to the ESG reporting framework, which is really mature nowadays in the private market. And ESG means environmental, social, and governance reporting that go beyond the traditional financial reporting framework. And with this framework, an AI equivalent could involve impact assessment. For example, how AI may impact different stakeholders throughout the life cycle. But one more thing that is really essential is they should disclosure also information about how AI works, because most of the current models are rather like a black box unless they open up all this code to the public. So the algorithmic transparency is important, but also how they collect, use, and manage the data. This information should be made available to the public. And from the ESG experience again, we can have a certificate system and voluntary reporting at this beginning, but then once the standards and guidelines mature, then we may have mandatory reporting, just like what we see in the major stock exchange nowadays. They request all the listed company to report this ESG assessment, and the same could be applied to AI in this regard. And the final point is, of course, in terms of enforcement, with different measures to make sure that companies, especially those who use this AI model, help accountable. And with the infrastructure and data and skill framework, the second recommendation here is about building shared digital public infrastructure. And this is key for AI training and AI application. At the national level, they may build the physical infrastructure like data center, high-speed network, and then with the cloud platform, they can distribute these resources very easily to different stakeholders, like for academic to do research, for the small, medium, and young SME to have the AI application developed, so on and so forth. And this model actually aligns with the latest discussion on how infrastructure should be framed in terms of this AI development. One example is from the latest discussion of African Declaration on AI. They also highlight the importance of having distributed sovereign AI infrastructure that can help to provide equitable access to AI to people at the national level. But apart from that, at the regional and international level, the same model can also apply. And here another reference we make is from CERN, which is the largest world particle physics lab located in Geneva. So the CERN model adopts this open science, open access approach by pooling resources of the members. They build this infrastructure for all the scientists and researchers to use. And the same model could be applied to AI, where we have a shared digital infrastructure that can distribute to countries and different stakeholders. So this is what we would like to recommend in terms of addressing this infrastructure constraint for many developing countries. And the third one on open innovation. This is going trend on how we collaborate nowadays on open platform. And there are different models. One is open data, where we experience very successful case back in the pandemic, where we have this COVID data sharing for medical research and vaccine development. This is one example on open data. And then another approach is open source, where we also find many interesting examples and successful ones like Linux and Android that use this model. And nowadays we have many AI resources on different platforms on open data and also open source, like GitHub that Antonio mentioned when we try to quantify the skills in terms of AI development. But we can see all these resources are rather fragmented, so we think that the international community can benefit by coordinating and harmonizing these resources through open repository, and that could build trust hub for different users to use this AI resources, and that can also democratize knowledge and enhance collaboration among stakeholders. And the last recommendation here we have is on capacity building. And there are 4 key areas of action. The first one is, of course, on knowledge sharing, that we have a lot of this discussion through the CSTD and other platforms that I mentioned before. And the second one is on technology transfer, where UNCTAD has also done a lot of work on technical cooperation to bring countries together to share the useful technology that they have. And the third one is capacity building. For example, this P166 is another example that we offer workshop and short courses to different stakeholders to enhance the awareness and understanding of the emerging issue. And all these 3 areas could be provided by a one-stop platform, like, for example, what we have seen in terms of the climate change development. We have this UN Climate Technology Network and Center that coordinate all this effort, and a similar one on AI could be worthwhile that can help coordinate all this work on these 3 different funds. And what I really want to highlight is the last point of action about self collaboration, because there are really a lot of potential that we can do in terms of self collaboration. And one interesting example is the fact that many countries may not have the critical mass to train AI or to use AI. Say in Rwanda, they may not have enough data to train AI for Swahili, a local language there. But Swahili is a common language in East Africa, and by pulling data from the East African region, countries can easily train AI and also use this data for AI application and also work with the private sector. And that is one very interesting example that we understand when we engage the private sectors and also countries in that regard. So for self collaboration, it can also leverage existing platform, for example, ASEAN, AU, and different regional institutions to promote the sharing of experience and also ensure coherent AI policy. And that is also what we are now witnessing from the AFCFTA and related discussion in different regions. So those are the 4 major recommendations that we have in terms of global AI collaboration. And I would stop here, and I welcome all your feedback and comments so we can have more interactive discussion on for both section 1 and also section 2. Thank you.